Coach Casper, if you could please start off with a brief opening statement.
Well, I'm very excited and proud for these young men. These guys, especially my seniors, Bobby to my left and O.J. Black and Caven Tilbury have been tremendous leaders this year, and I really believe in internal leadership as a key to success, and they have provided it. Everyone says as a coach you got to get your guys going, but you need some help from within the team. And you know, these guys never gave up. The seniors did a great job today. The role players, our role players, did a great job today. Some of our freshmen came off the bench and did a good job, like Nedja. But there were just a lot of heroes today. Bobby led us with 16, but Emmanuel had battled in there, and we had 5 guys in double figures, so it was truly a team effort. And I can't say enough about how proud I am of them. How proud next to the last game, we let Lafayette, Louisiana, come back and beat us in the last 2 minutes when we were 6 up. And that was a kind of defeat that can crush you, that can knock the air out of you. And my seniors helped me get the team ready. We rebounded and beat Monroe, who's very tough, especially up there. And you know, we won 3 straight since that stinging defeat at Louisiana. So I just want to use this press conference to tip my hat to the players and to the seniors on our team.
Thanks, Coach. At this time, we'll open it up to questions for the student athletes only. Once again, please wait for a microphone and identify yourself by name and media outlet. Questions? I'm going to start on the right side, the 3rd row back.
Ishmael Johnson, San Marcos Daily Record. Manuel, not much of a scorer throughout the season, but did you come into today looking to be aggressive and kind of attack Jorge Bilbao?
Yes. They told me that if I roll hard, I'll be open most of the time. That's what happened the second go around. I didn't roll as hard. So I made myself as a screener, roll hard, and I got open shots.
One follow-up here.
For Bobby, you love playing in New Orleans, man. Tulane, you hit some shots last year in the tournament as well. What was the vibe pregame for you personally, and then for the team? Because that was, end to end, that was a pretty convincing performance, to say the least.
Just pregame, we were all really, really locked in. You could tell just the energy in the room because we know how much this game means to us. And especially for the returners, this is really personal game since they put us out last year. So we just came out firing, and we knew they were going to throw some punches, but we had to stick with it throughout the time, and I think we did a pretty good job.
And move to the front row on the right.
Again, for Bobby, y'all were up at the half, and they're hanging close to you. You hit those 2 back-to-back threes right there. Did you feel like that broke their spirit?
Honestly, I wasn't even looking at the score, so when I play, I don't really look at the score, so I don't know what's going on. I just go off the energy, and you could tell a little bit their heads dropped a little bit, and they were playing a little bit desperate. So.
Any further questions for the student athletes? Ted again.
Guys, I don't know if you know or not, but daylight savings time begins tomorrow, so you lose an hour's sleep. Is that going to make any difference to you? Are you going to be able to sleep anyway in anticipation for playing to get in the NCAA tournament tomorrow?
Go ahead, Bobby.
I can't really tell you till I lay down, see how I feel. But, just try to get to bed an hour earlier, I guess.
I'm gonna make a tape where I'm talking, and that'll put him to sleep real quick.
You laughing, but I'm not lying. You're not lying. You're right to sleep.
Any further questions for the student athletes? One last one here on the left side.
Kevin Cushionberry, UTA Shorthorn. I just wanted to ask for Bobby or Emmanuel, what did you guys see from Kevin Hervey throughout the season and just today in the game? He's Sunbelt Player of the Year, so just what are your thoughts on him as a player?
Go ahead, Bobby.
Hervey, he's an amazing player. He deserved that award. We just knew if we contain him and we contain Neil and don't let Duke Charles get off with his 3-pointers, then we have a pretty good shot at winning.
Manuel, go ahead.
He's a good player. You just have to contain him. We contained him today. Neil, he helps him a lot, so we had to contain him too. So the best thing you do is just contain both of them.
Thank you very much, Bobby and Emmanuel. You can head back to the locker room now, and we'll open it to questions for the head coach.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Questions for Coach?
Yes, sir.
Danny, you've taken teams to the NCAA tournament before. Can you talk about, how much you want it, especially for the guys that you've gone through three straight losing seasons here to start out, and,
Well,
and how much you want it for them tomorrow, and what do you want that experience to be? How much you want it for them tomorrow?
Well, I've always told my assistants that the key to success is finding the right people, whether it be business or whether it be basketball coaching or whatever. You got to get people who, when you hire them, they believe in what you're selling, and they don't say yes sir, and then they get there and want their own thing. And every year it's gotten better, but it took a while to heal that culture that was broken at Texas State. It took a while. My toughest turnaround. And this is my third program in which they were struggling, and I've taken over. And so this is you look at these two young men and the men I have in that locker room. I can tell all of you here and everybody that would read your print that almost to a man I could recommend these people for jobs. I could tell them, hey, I'm going to be gone for the weekend. Pick up my mail, pick up the paper. Here's the key. Make yourself at home. Turn off the lights when you're finished. They're just a good group of young men. And they can take coaching, and they can take me getting after them. And so in that they're very strong. They're strong about that. And I call it toughness. We finally have come up. We've had some talent in the last year or two. I don't think we've been as tough as we are this year. They're the kind of guys you get after them and they'll say, yes, coach. And where particularly my first year, it was kind of like I was beating them with a bat, So what we've done is recruited some people who have helped establish a culture that it's all about the team, not about me. And so I'm very excited for this opportunity to go back to the big dance.
Further questions for Coach? Go to the third row.
Coach, you mentioned you've been able to sense when your team's ready.
Yes.
Was this one of those games?
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. I mean, it's they're almost always quiet, but there is the way they move, the way they're not even too much into their Walkmans. They're just the way they're carrying themselves. You just know you don't have to talk too much to them. They're ready to go, and we really respected this UTA team. They're very well coached. They've got talent. The young gentleman over here asked about Kevin Hervey. He's one of the best I've seen. And for us to hold him to 10 points is quite a tribute to, Caven and Nigel and Neja, who took turns guarding him. And I felt like we beat a pretty good team today, a very good team today.
Anything further for Coach? Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you tomorrow.
Thank all of you.
Yeah, it was a hard-fought game. I felt like Texas State was definitely the tougher team. They played unbelievable defense on us. They were very, very well connected offensively. They played together. We didn't do the little things that we needed to do to be successful, but I think the credit goes to Texas State. They were prepared, they executed, and they did what it takes to win a basketball game like this. I hate it, especially for our seniors. This is an opportunity that they had to, advance and live another day and have a chance of going to the NCAA tournament. And those guys have meant so much to the program, and I hate it for them. But we just have to look at it as a life lesson and figure out what it is that we can learn from this. And we still have postseason play ahead for us, and I hope our guys respond well, and then we can. Whenever our end may be for the season, I just hope and pray that we end it on a note where we leave our best on the floor. I didn't think we left our best on the floor, and that's disappointing. But again, I give the credit to Coach Casper and Texas State for what they did, so that we didn't play our best. But hopefully our guys will regroup and we'll be better next time out.
Thanks, Coach. At this time, we'll take questions for the student athletes, Eric Neal and Kevin Hervey. Once again, please wait for the microphone. We'll start up here in the front.
For Eric and Kevin, like Coach said, y'all have the NIT coming up. What is y'all's mindset going into that?
Finishing strong, basically, playing for our seniors. Jalen's not here anymore. He can't play. He's not able to do anything, so just playing hard, finishing for them.
Kevin, any thoughts on the NIT?
Blessed to be a part of the tournament. We've had a great year. That's how we got to look at it now, and hopefully we can go in there and win a game.
And when you two look back at this season, what do you think you're going to remember the most about this group with the 5 seniors who will end their season soon?
This is the tightest team I've been a part of. We all love each other. We get along. Every single person on my team gets along. We don't fight, and if we do, we make up in a matter of seconds. This is the best team I've been a part of. I wouldn't have it any other way. And if I'm going to go down, I'll go down with this team.
And Eric, any thoughts on the seniors?
Huh?
Did you have any thoughts on the question regarding the senior class?
Senior class is amazing, man. It's like we're all like family. The bond that we have, the chemistry that we have, it was crazy. Like, we really are like family. And it's going to hurt to see them leave, But we'll just keep trying to keep playing, And we'll just finish out the season for them, basically.
Can you go to the second row? Oh, sorry. Over here on the right side.
Ted Lewis, New Orleans advocate. Kevin, y'all have had a terrific season. Last 10, 12 minutes, it comes apart for you there. How do you explain that, and how personally do you take it that you didn't have your best day?
To be honest with you, we broke down before, and we've come back. Like the Georgia State game, we came back from down 15 in the second half. But I played bad, and we've won before. So all I care about is winning and losing. And we lost the game, and I'm devastated. But I don't have an explanation for you. Losing sucks.
I think we might have. Did you have one in the second row on the left?
Just for Kevin, it's been a interesting ride for you guys. It seems like it's gone by quick to me, but this is the end of y'all's 3rd year coming up. Kind of what's your thoughts moving into what's maybe your final year here next season?
We still got one or two, hopefully 3 or 4 more games left to play. But we're gonna look at it. You take it day by day. We just try to be tough at practice, tough in whatever workouts we have coming up, and that's just how we gotta look at it. I don't really look too far ahead. I just focus on the present.
Thank you very much, Eric and Kevin. We'll go ahead to questions for Coach Cross at this time. Start in the front left.
Samuel Hale, UTA Radio coach. There's not much to say about it when you look at the score. As coaches, how you handle a game like that when you see it where it's tight going into halftime, there's still plenty of room to rebound, and then you kind of see things degrade in the second half. As a coaching staff and as a head coach, how are you handling that as it moves into those stages?
Well, I just had to, I put my trust in the good Lord, so I trust his will. Obviously, it wasn't meant to be today, so I had to look for lessons. Our guys had to look for lessons, and there were many of them from this basketball game. The most important one, I think, is when we were down and we were struggling, we kind of came apart as a team. We didn't come together. We didn't trust each other. We tried to do it individually. And you can't win basketball games against a great defensive team like Texas State doing it individually. And that's what we did. What those guys said is true. We do have unbelievable team chemistry, but it fell apart. Our guys panicked a little bit and ran out of timeouts basically, had no more timeouts, so there was no more adjustments. And at that point, we were down 15-16 with 4 minutes to go. There's not a whole lot you can do. Texas State is very disciplined with the basketball. They're not going to beat themselves. We're trying to press and do things that we don't normally do, and we end up fouling, and the game gets out of hand a little bit. We didn't leave our best. We had a chance. You look at it, we had it to 4. We fouled a 3-point shooter. We come down, we take a bad shot, and then, the rest is history. From that point forward, each guy, and it's part of what makes us good, is those guys believe in themselves and they're so confident that they think they can do it themselves. But in reality, you can't. You have to trust each other. We have to trust our role players. And, so for me, that's what the lesson is. It's a lesson we've been preaching all the time to our guys, but it's a very hard lesson to learn. And, like I told them after the game, I hate it for our seniors. Most of all, I hate it for them. I don't think this game defines our season. I still think this is the best season in UT Arlington basketball history. But unfortunately, we didn't play our best tonight, and that hurts, and that's disappointing. But we're going to regroup, and my hope and prayer was that we left our best out on the floor for Jalen Jones and for those seniors. We didn't do it. That's part of it, and I hate it for that. But we're hopefully these guys will take a good long look at themselves in the mirror. I know I'll look and try and make adjustments, and hopefully we'll be better the next time we come out. And I still am very, very proud to be the basketball coach of this team. We have unbelievable guys. They're the most high-character guys I've ever been around. And so I'm not going to let this one game define who we are. These guys have given their heart and soul to this basketball team. And, it's just a shame that we in our Sun Belt play this way.
Moving over to the right.
Coach, early in the game, you guys jumped out to that 6-point lead, and y'all seem to be doing pretty well on the offensive end. And what do you think kind of fell apart there offensively?
To me, and I told them this at halftime, I think the worst thing that could have happened to us is we started out on fire. And that's what happened. We were hitting everything. Guys were feeling it. And unfortunately for us, when we do that, we take plays off defensively. Against Coastal, we couldn't buy a bucket, so what do? We ended up grinding it out and playing better defense. Well, we took plays off. Well, all of a sudden Texas State gets going. They get hot. Now they're feeling it. Well, they're a team that's disciplined, and they're going to make you guard. They're going to make us guard them for 30 seconds. And when they have a 4-point lead, they're not giving it up. You're going to have to guard them for that entire 30 seconds. Then you're going to have to block out and rebound. I mean, there are a few times where we get stops and we don't take up space and get the rebound. Well, they're going to make us guard them for 30 more seconds. So I think that was the worst thing that could have happened to us, is that we came out and we were hitting every single one of our shots. I know that sounds backwards, but I think when our guys have the attitude and the mindset that we're going to be the toughest, hardest playing team, we win every time. I told them, that's a life lesson too. No matter what you do from this point forward, nobody's going to give you nothing. Texas State's not going to give us a victory. We have to go out there and take it and earn it, and we didn't do that. We didn't do that today. We didn't deserve to win the basketball game, and our guys have to understand that. It's the same way in life. Nobody's going to give you a job. Nobody's going to give you anything. You got to work harder, and you got to go out and you got to earn everything.
And Coach, I know it was in a loss, but what did you think of Eric Neal's response today after being not starting yesterday?
I thought, at first, at the beginning of the game, he was on fire. He was playing great. He was playing with a lot of confidence. Part of what makes him so great is his unbelievable confidence in himself. He has to understand as well that, and he's got to learn to trust other guys. And, as a point guard, you got to get that ball moving. But it's hard because Texas State, they weren't helping off of our shooters. They were trying to make, one or two guys beat them. It's a great game plan, and unfortunately, we should have made them work a little bit harder. But instead, we took some quick shots. They come back down and they make us work. And it's very, very deflating if we take a bad shot and then you got to go down there and you got to defend for 30 seconds and run through screens, and it's just very, very deflating. So Eric's an unbelievable point guard. Maybe the best that I've ever coached. He's going to continue to get better, and when he's making everybody else better, that's when he's at his best. And there's been games where he's absolutely carried us and elevated everybody's play around them. We wouldn't have won at St. Mary's, Texas, without the way he played. And he's a special player. I wouldn't trade him for anybody. And I'm looking forward to him playing his best basketball in the NIT.
Time for one more on the left side.
Coach, Jorge didn't quite play his best today and really struggled with foul trouble late. Do you think that had anything to do with fatigue, possibly, from playing 35 minutes yesterday?
He said something to our trainer that he was having, I guess, the runs, for lack of a better word. I didn't know about it, but you look at him, and he just didn't seem right. He plays so hard, but if you're dehydrated, a guy that plays that hard just can't do it. And so, there were times where he wasn't even able to move, and he was bending over like he couldn't hardly stand up. And, I've been dehydrated a few times, and it's impossible, to play basketball. I've had trouble just walking when I get severely dehydrated. I didn't know that. He tried to play through it, but we were already one man down with Jalen Jones, who's one of our toughest guys, and Jorge is our toughest guy. Well, we're playing one of the toughest teams on our schedule, and now you got two of your toughest guys that are down, one down and one, half speed. So, yeah, that took a huge toll on us, and, but he tried to play through it. I give him credit. He is the hardest playing dude I've ever coached in my life, and I'm going to miss that dude more than anybody I think I've ever coached when his last game is done. Hopefully he'll be back, and next game he'll bring his best game, because against Coastal Carolina he was dominant, and it was one of the best individual, hardest playing games that I've ever seen.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.